Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and let's jump right in. FBI arrests leader of U.S. Patriots stopping migrants at the border. Again, I'm going to point out they're not migrants, they're illegal aliens. Taos, New Mexico from Reuters. The FBI on Saturday said it had arrested Larry Hopkins, the leader of an armed group who have been stopping migrants, illegal aliens, who illegally crossed the U.S.-Mexico border in New Mexico. You have the file photo from U.S. soldiers walk next to the border fence between Mexico and the U.S. as migrants are seen behind the fence after crossing illegally into the U.S. to turn themselves in El Paso, Texas. In this picture taken from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, April 3rd, 2019. The writing on the wall reads, "Help us, Jesus Christ." Reuters, Jose Luis Gonzalez, file photo. Just a note, Jesus would tell you to come to the door and knock, not to jump the wall. Remember, Jerusalem has a wall, has had as long as it's been in Jewish control. In fact, way back under Nehemiah, the first thing he was told to do when rebuilding Jerusalem was to build the wall. Hopkins, 69, now known as Johnny Horton, was arrested in Sunland Park, New Mexico on a federal complaint charging him with being a felon in possession of firearms and ammunition, the FBI said in a statement. Hopkins represents himself as commander of the United Constitutional Patriots, UCP, a small volunteer group camped out near Sunland Park since late February. The UCP describes itself as a patriot group, helping overstretched U.S. Border Patrol agents deal with a surge in undocumented migrants, illegal aliens. The American Civil Liberties Union on Thursday accused it of being a fascist militia organization, illegally detaining and kidnapping asylum seekers. To the ACLU idiots, you can come to the border and ask. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to enter the country first. You can go to any American consulate or embassy. You can come to an approved border crossing location where CBP will be there, and you can request asylum. Asylum is not a right. It is a privilege. Jim Benvey, a spokesman for the UCP, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Hector Balderas, New Mexico's Attorney General, described Hopkins as a dangerous felon who should not have weapons around children or families. Well, if he's a felon, he shouldn't have weapons at all. Today's arrest by the FBI indicates clearly that the rule of law should be in the hands of trained law enforcement officials, not armed vigilantes, Balderas said in a statement. Horton was previously arrested in Oregon in 2006 on suspicion of impersonating a police officer and being a felon in possession of a firearm, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Just like the ADL and the ACLU, the SPLC is not a reliable source. Mexico's government on Saturday said it had deep concern about armed groups that intimidate migrants. If they're truly just migrants, come to the approved border crossing and request entry. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, said it did not support citizens taking law enforcement into their own hands, but encouraged the public to be its eyes and ears on the border. Border Patrol welcomes assistance from the community and encourages anyone who witnesses or suspects illegal activity to call 911 or the U.S. Border Patrol, CBP said in a statement. One UCP member who declined to be named said the group are U.S. military veterans who carry weapons for self-defense, but that they never pointed guns at migrants, illegal aliens, as has been reported. People misconceive what we are doing, the UCP member said. All we're down here to do is back up Border Patrol. They're so thinned out with all these people coming in. Now, I'm going to take two different standpoints on this. One, if Hopkins truly is a felon, he should not have arms or ammunition any time at all. When you are convicted of a felony, you lose the right to carry virtually every type of firearm on the planet. I believe black powder is still legal for felons in some states. But federally, if you are a felon, you lose the right to have firearms and you lose the right to vote. Now, we have states trying to undo the vote thing, but of course, they're trying to expand and take away firearms from non-felons. So, if Hopkins truly is a convicted felon, then was carrying firearms and ammunition, the arrest was valid, and he should go to court to be charged, tried, and either convicted or acquitted. Second, the Border Patrol cannot be everywhere. As said in the statement, the Border Patrol welcomes U.S. citizens being their eyes and ears. The problem is, if you're at the border and you are not armed, there's a very good likelihood that you will be assaulted. Firearms are for self-defense. That is the first thing firearms are for. A very, very close second is to defend against tyrants. A very distant third would be sport and hunting. But of course, our exalted leaders in Congress tell you that just because you want to hunt or participate in a sport, you do not have the right to have assault weapons. Meanwhile, they are guarded by men with military-grade weapons that they deny us even the ability to request. The situation along the southern U.S. border is becoming untenable. There are many people who live extremely near the border and have reported these so-called undocumented migrants, really illegal aliens, trespassing on their property. It will honestly not surprise me when some state attorney general charges a citizen with felony assault and attempted murder for defending their home from an illegal alien who comes onto their property and then tries to break in. We've already seen people charged with crimes for defending their home and their family with a firearm in some idiotic, edgy moves. But this is a very tenuous and very multifaceted situation. In some states, like mine, Texas, the governor has deployed the National Guard to the border to aid Border Patrol agents and Immigration Customs Enforcement agents. Others are refusing to. Some are actively blocking it. And there are several states, border or not, actually fighting to stop construction of a border barrier because, of course, they say it's not necessary. And all of those things are idiotic moves in my mind. Citizens should be told that they have the right to defend themselves. Yet we have some people saying that they should not be taking the law into their own hands, even to the point of charging them with murder when someone breaks into their home. Unfortunately, many states that do that have what they call a duty to retreat, meaning if you're out on your property or out anywhere on the U.S. border in United States territory, and you are assaulted or you're rushed by multiple illegal aliens, they say you have a duty to retreat before you can defend yourself. And unfortunately, they take this to the extreme, saying, well, I know you were surrounded, but you should have still tried to get out. We're going to see the death toll rise and rise and rise, because these are not, as the media tells you, all women and children fleeing oppression and poverty. These are a large percentage of the caravans coming are military-aged men. We already have proof that Middle Eastern terrorists and drug lords and gang members and just horrible, horrible people are hiding in these caravans to try and get into the U.S. We see a story or two or more almost daily about an illegal alien that has murdered or raped or otherwise harmed American citizens. We had Kate Steinle killed in San Francisco, and her killer was not only acquitted, but is now suing the U.S. government for daring to arrest him. We have MS-13 brutally murdering people with bladed weapons, meaning this is not someone who sits on a corner and decides, I'm just going to shoot that guy. This is someone who is right up close and personal, getting the blood all over themselves, stabbing people multiple times. And we have people like Pelosi or Schumer or any of the others, idiots from Congress or Hollywood, that defend them as, well, they're just poor, downtrodden migrants who just want a better life. Apparently, better life means breaking every law they can. I'm not going to say that Hopkins and his group should be out policing the border. But if, as CBP said, they welcome citizens being their eyes and ears on the border, those citizens should not be told they must disarm. You're not there to hold people at gunpoint while waiting on CBP, but you do have the right to defend yourself. The border right now is just overrun. And if someone crossing illegally sees someone monitoring the border and notifying CBP and decides, I don't want that happening, that citizen has the right to defend themselves. Now, Hopkins aside, as I said, if he truly is a convicted felon, the courts need to decide how to proceed. But for anyone who is not, if you are going to go be the Border Patrol's eyes and ears, you do have a right to defend your life from someone attempting to assault you or kill you. And now, honestly, the only thing I'm waiting for is for some idiot from Congress to decry the rampant vigilantism on the border, with American citizens scaring migrants with assault weapons and threats of death. Because, of course, coming across a border illegally is now apparently a human right. Or at least it will be if liberals ever truly regain power. But that's enough for me right now. Let me know what you think. Make sure to keep the comments civil. We don't learn from argument, we learn from debate. As some people have already learned, when they resort to base insults and childish taunting and arguing, they get blocked. And I don't want to do that, but anyone who proves they are just going to hurl insults and hurl vulgarities at people, they don't deserve any time or pity from the people they obviously hate for disagreeing with them. As always, make sure to like and share this video, as well as to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're one of the first to know of new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.